In a world where podcasts exist, there are two hosts who will do anything to talk to you about video games. On this edition of Downtime Podcast, number 103, with Alyssa and Jeremy. With original soundtrack and score by Alyssa. With the same cadence and notes at all times. Waiting for that Game of Thrones video game to come out. That real one.
Which we'll get to later in this episode because there might actually be a Game of Thrones video game.
Yes, that's right. So, I saw that rumor too, and I'm like, what?
To be discussed.
How you doing, Alyssa?
I'm doing well. I'm getting back in the gaming world after about 2 weeks of not playing much, and I told you last week that I picked up Danganronpa. And man, I have a lot of thoughts about that game.
Okay. Yeah, I know you've been posting some screenshots on the Discord.
Yes. So the first thing that I want to do before I discuss the game is I want to tell you what the definition of Danganronpa. Oh my goodness, Danganronpa is.
Those Danganronpas.
Those Danganronpas. So, looking at Google, the series name is a portmanteau of the Japanese words dangan or dangan, bullet, and ronpa, the act of refuting someone's point forcefully, which goes into the user interface and a lot of the UX of the game itself. So this is a very interesting game. I got the trilogy, and so I'm playing the very first episode, or like the first game of the trilogy, which is called Trigger Happy Havoc, and it introduces the concept of Danganronpa.
Okay.
All right, so your name is Makoto, because everyone's name just happens to be Makoto in the video game world. Now, Makoto, he applies to be part of this private school, and I want to say it's called Hope's Peak. And it's a private school that only accepts 15 people. And what you have to do is you have to have an outstanding ability or skill. Like you are the ultimate singer, or you're the ultimate baseball player, or you're the ultimate like fanfic writer. I'm not kidding. There's an ultimate fanfic writer. Like you are the ultimate of your skill set. And the main character represents the average Joe. He is an average Joe because he doesn't have an outstanding skill. In fact, he gets accepted into the private school because of a lottery. You know how you can take a lottery to be accepted into a school if you don't live in that district?
Yes.
Same concept. So he got accepted into this school, and so everyone has this title of like ultimate like street racer or ultimate swimmer or ultimate all of these things. And so the main character Makoto, his ultimate is the ultimate lucky boy.
Okay.
Because he won the lottery to get in.
Okay, this is how this has gone down. Okay.
Okay, so immediately something's wrong with the school because, of course, there's something wrong with the school. There is a giant teddy bear, and this giant teddy bear turns out is a sadistic headmaster of the school, Hope's Peak.
Okay.
And I want to say that the what is the teddy bear's name? It's like Momofuka or something like that, but I feel like that's wrong. I think I butchered it. I'm sorry, everyone. But
okay.
Monokuma.
That makes more sense.
Okay, I was like, what am I saying? Same pronunciation, about we're close. So so he's the headmaster. So this is so the 15 people who just got accepted into Hope's Peak, it turns out that it's a special school. So they are trapped in their school, and the goal is that all of these ultimate people, the only way they can escape the school is if they murder one of their classmates.
Okay.
So it's very, very much becoming a battle royale. And there are certain rules for the players to escape, and what Monokuma says, graduate from the school. So the specifications are: 1, you have to kill one of your classmates, and then 2, after you find a murdered classmate, a trial is held because Monokuma knows who killed the classmate. So basically what the goal is, you have to get away with murder on the trial. So every single student gets put on trial, and then you have to basically prove who the actual suspect is. But if you can get away with it and you're not proven the suspect, then you so to speak, you graduate and you pass and you can escape the school because you did the 2 things. 1, you murdered someone, and 2, you got away with it.
I see.
So your goal, but you're playing as Makoto, and Makoto's the main character. So your goal, actually, and this is the premise of it, is down the line, all of these 15 students and classmates of yours are going to go down one by one. And whenever there's a trial, you, as the player, you have to figure out who the suspect is. And what I'm presuming, and then you have to solve the cases and solve the crimes. So what I'm assuming is by the end of this game, it's probably you, the main character, Makoto, and 3 other people. And you, as a main character, are probably going to try to get away with not killing people as long as you can possibly do it. And I'm pretty sure that when you get to the final 3, you have to make some moral choices. I want to say that because I've seen gameplay of it before, the trials are like Ace Attorney. Yeah. And I gotta say, Jeremy, so I have played up to the first character death, which, by the way, was a plot twist. I was not expecting that to happen with this character. So Makoto meets a character, and what I actually assumed was this character was going to be one of the final 3 or the final 5 characters that he makes it to the end, and that there was going to be a huge betrayal of some sort.
Oh.
It turns out that they just straight up got murdered in the first 3 hours. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
All right. Well, I guess you were not that important to the story.
Or, yeah, I mean, I guess so, right?
Yeah.
That seems to be the case.
I guess you can call this person a catalyst to what could happen in the future. Though, like I said, I only played up to finishing the trial of the first character death, so I'm not sure. I will say that this game can get pretty gruesome, so they replaced the blood color with pink so that they hide the goriness, even though it's very obvious. And
okay, as you do, hide it with pink.
Of course. And then in the trial, so the name of the game is called Trigger Happy Havoc, and pretty much what happens is you have to figure out clues in the school, because you have to figure out who murdered one of your friends. And when you find those clues, they come as truth bullets. And so it's very similar, Jeremy, to Yakuza, when you're in the video chat and you have to shoot the moving target so that you can say the correct phrase in the sentence. so that you can talk to the video girl.
Ah, yes, of course.
Yes, it's very similar to that. So you're on a timer, just like in Yakuza.
Okay.
So to solve the crime, you have to put all of these clues together. And very similar to that format of time's running out, and you have to shoot the correct phrases. Shoot the correct clues.
I see.
Yeah. And then at the end, after everything's said and done, and you figured out who the trial or who the suspect is, you have to create a comic, which, by the way, confused me because I was thinking... So the format is there's a comic strip, and there's missing panels, and you have to fill the panels with the picture in order of how the crimes happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was like freaking out at first. I actually wasted a good 5 minutes because I was like, why the fuck is none of this working? Because I was thinking of an American style comic that you read from left to right.
Oh,
and then
I see.
And then I realized 5 minutes into it, I was like, oh my God, I wasted so much time because the fucking comic is like a manga that goes right to left.
That makes sense.
And I was like, Japanese things, oh my goodness. So
Gotcha.
I as you can probably tell, I succeeded in figuring out who the first suspect of the, of the game was after the first character death. Well, technically 2 character deaths. So I started off with 15, including myself. We are now down to 12.
Okay.
So 3 people have died. So 1 person died because they were murdered by a classmate. Another person died because they defied Monokuma, the headmaster, and then the headmaster killed them. And then,
oh wow,
of course. And then 3, because I chose the correct killer, they were killed because they did not get away with the crime.
I see.
So the format of this game is one of your classmates gets killed, find clues, prove who the killer is. That suspect gets killed as well, and then down the line, students leave one by one until we get to like what I presume is like 4 final people, including your main character, and that's probably the final chapter.
Okay.
So oh my God, Jeremy, I forgot to one more thing. So after you finish the comic book panel of the closing argument, there is a rhythm game that was inserted for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Oh man. Well, I mean, that works for you, right?
It works perfectly for me, but a part of me was just like, what is going on right now? Like, first of all, this trial is taking like an hour to go through.
Right.
Like the actual trial itself, I was like, oh my God, by the 3rd clue that I found, I knew who the killer was already. And then when I was actually in the trial mode of the game, it took so long to
oh my God,
to finally get the suspect. Like, I was just like, I wish there was like a thing where like in the corner of the screen you press like options and it just says choose the killer. I knew who the killer was. So
right, exactly.
It was so, oh my gosh. So one of my biggest complaints of the game is I think the trial took too long. I think the trial for me, just because I had to read everything, took like an hour, and it could have easily been 20 minutes in my opinion. Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it just took way too long, and then some of the cutscenes, it just kept repeating itself. So a lot of the froofy fruff that the filler, like the filler reactions, like the like all of that was just unnecessary at points. Like the character screaming, and you're just like, stop it! I'm trying to get over this.
Yeah, you're like, well, like, it's not helping me. I already know. Just move on.
Yes, exactly. Just stop it. Just stop it already.
What a fake reaction.
Exactly.
I get it.
So The concept I really like, just because it is a mystery, as well as and there's a little bit of spice to it, because you know for a fact that your cohort is actually dying off. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, let's work together and figure this out. It's like, no, they're all actually dying. So it's straight to the point. Finding the clues is very fun. So we'll see what happens when I play through the first game. I was able to figure out the suspect pretty easily in the first round, but in the first chapter, but I wonder if it gets harder. So
I see.
Yeah, because there was a really obvious clue. Like, it was fucking obvious, Jeremy. So, like, basically, there was because I don't want to spoil it too much for, like, people listening, but so think of it like, kind of like a password. So there was, like, and I'm, like, calling it a password just because I don't want to spoil what the clue is. So there's a password on the wall, and it's like, you look at the password visually and you can figure out who the killer is automatically. Like, I didn't have to find any of the other clues. It was
I see.
Yeah, this password that was on the wall just was so obvious who.
So are you saying that the game is too easy overall?
I don't know yet, because I haven't played the next chapters, because I've only played through one kill. Or one character death. Or it's like one character murder. I've only played through one character murder, so I don't know. But that clue was so blatantly easy that I was like, huh, that was so easy.
Right. Like, they might pull a twist on you. What if that's not actually the killer? You don't know yet, right?
Oh, I know it's the killer, because I went through the trial already, and then that person's already dead now.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, that person's dead. But like, it was a little bit shocking and a little bit surprising how straightforward that clue was. Like, because I gotta admit, the game had a few clues that you had to think about them before you put the pieces together who was the killer. But this was the clue. But this clue, like this password, was like, oh, I know exactly who this person is. So,
I see.
Yeah, so we'll find out next week in chapter 2 if all the clues are easy, or if it because that was a tutorial. I gotta admit, that was your tutorial trial.
I see.
Yeah, so anything can happen.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Please keep us updated.
Yep.
Like, as much as you can without spoiling anything.
Yeah. This is very typical JRPG style of, like, what the fuckery.
Right.
I'm having a good time, though. I think the game's fun. Like I said, my only gripe is how long the trial process is. It's unnecessarily long, in my opinion. Yeah. But and cause, like, Jeremy, there's a rhythm game. Why do you need a rhythm game in this game? As someone who loves rhythm games, I cannot tell you the reason why there's a rhythm game here.
I wish I could tell you exactly how that fits into the whole game.
I wish I could tell you too. I really do.
Well, I mean, more evidence that people love rhythm games, right?
Yep. A few things I want to call out in this game. The funny thing is, part of this game takes a Persona type of aspect where you have free time in the game to make friendships with people. But then a part of me is like, how do these friendships benefit if everyone's gonna die in the end?
Right.
Like, it's just one of those things where I just have to figure it out on my own. Because, like, the person that I, like, was making a friendship with got killed off in the first 3 hours of the game. So
you're like, all my wasted efforts.
So
yeah, you can't be attached to anyone. It's like Game of Thrones.
I know. There is one person I'm attaching myself to. So there is a character in this game. Her name's Kyoko. I have purposefully chosen to talk to her and be friends with her because I don't know what her ultimate skill is yet. So she's kind of like the mysterious character where at the beginning of the game, Makoto was like, "What's your ultimate skill?" And she goes, "I don't want to tell you." And I'm like, "Oh God."
Typical.
Typical. So that's where we're at right now. I'm probably gonna play just one and then move on to a different game, move on to Judgment. Because I know I have the trilogy, but I'll spread that out throughout the year. I'm not gonna play all of it at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unless I finish Danganronpa in the next 2 weeks. I don't know how long this game is, so we'll see.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Those are all my thoughts about Danganronpa. Sorry, y'all. I don't know how to say it yet.
Yeah, just say it like a true American.
Yes.
Danganronpa.
Yes. But I have some predictions. I do think that because you don't know who Kyoko is, that she's going to be one of the final 3, just because it makes sense storyline wise. I bet you this game's gonna pull some dumb shit where Makoto's never gonna kill anyone. So probably the best ending is he doesn't kill anyone. So we'll see how all of that comes together in the end.
Cool.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I mean, I'm curious about this game, but I mean,
I hope that I hope my that description made a little sense for everyone who doesn't know what the game is.
Is there an anime? I might just watch the anime.
Oh, there's gotta be an anime. Oh, yes. Yeah, you know what? Yes,
there is.
There definitely is.
Danganronpa, the animation.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, I mean, maybe this will give me the same story as the game or games.
I would bet it does. No doubt about it.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. I'll check it out. Thanks for sharing.
Yes. No worries.
On my end, I haven't been playing too much. I've been kind of busy outside of the gaming world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only thing I could talk about is that I booted up Rising Storm 2 Vietnam back up on Steam again.
Dude.
And so
is something going on with Rising Storm? Because suddenly I'm noticing a lot of people talking about that game.
it was on sale.
Okay.
Like last week, and so a bunch of people bought it. So there's an influx of new users playing the game.
Okay,
which
makes sense.
Which is also a good, it's a good thing because there's more people playing it. They kind of updated it recently.
Yes.
I think at the end of last year. So a bunch of new maps got added, more community support. They added a new game mode, a bunch of other stuff. So I mean, it's a game that's still kicking, which is great because
yes, that is great.
You're competing against Apex and Fortnite and PUBG, and you have this game that's not really fitting in the battle royale genre. It's still a team-based multiplayer game, and that's what I like about it is that it's literally just a standard war shooter with two sides, and you both have one goal. So I mean, it's great. I've been playing it because I could just play for an hour and feel satisfied, and then I can go back to doing other stuff. So. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for the summer to come up so that I can find more time to finish Sekiro. Judgment's coming out at the end of June.
Judgment, of course, is coming out.
Yeah, and so, I mean, E3 is happening next month, so there's going to be a lot of really crazy game announcements and releases.
In 2.5 weeks. Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've just been playing a little bit of Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. Hopping back on that for a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to play multiple games at the same time. So I'm trying to just be a one game man right now and play what I can.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. And so if you have Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, let me know. Maybe we can squad up, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, I mean.
Speaking of E3, Alyssa, let's jump right into it. There's a lot of stuff we got to talk about E3, but before that, there's one thing I want to talk about that's kind of been leading up to E3, or something that's kind of been there, or something that's not there, something that's happened recently.
All right.
Did you know about Telltale games being pulled from GOG and Steam?
Whoa, I did not know about that.
Yeah, so Tales from the Borderlands was pulled from Steam. From GOG's side, Tales from the Borderlands, The Wolf Among Us, Batman, they'll all be removed on the 27th of May.
Why? Okay. Do we know why? Because
It's just because the whole fiasco went down and 2K is just pulling the plug, I guess.
a bankrupt studio should not necessarily pull the games, though, which is why I'm a little confused.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's happening.
Hmm.
I don't know why. I don't know why it's happening. It just seems like 2K is pulling the games.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, everything from like Sam & Max to Strong Brad's cool game for attractive people. Yeah, they're getting pulled. The Walking Dead is being pulled. Like, so the Tales from the Borderlands and The Walking Dead, they both appear on Steam on the store pages, but you can't purchase them. They're just there. Like, they literally just show it there like a tease, and they're like, okay, well, you can't really do that. So a lot of people have been clamoring, saying, like, at least put back Tales from the Borderlands, because Borderlands 3 is coming out. A lot of people are going to be interested in the game, and some of the characters from Tales of the Borderlands will be appearing in Borderlands 3. So people won't have context as to who these people are, who these characters are in Borderlands 3. If you already own Steam games that have been pulled from Steam, of course, this means that you get to keep them forever. Well, as long as Steam exists forever in that sense. So me, for example, I actually own Tales from the Borderlands on Steam, and I haven't played it yet, but seeing this news, I actually do want to play it just to see, get a download before Borderlands 3 comes out. But also I am curious about the game, and kind of like I've only played 2 Telltale games. I've played the Back to the Future game and the Jurassic Park one, and both of them were kind of meh. Like, I'm not a huge point and click fan.
Yeah, it's a niche crowd.
Yeah, but there's definitely an audience for it. Of course, so like with the Walking Dead games, they were a little bit more interactive, but with Jurassic Park and Back to the Future, there was some action segments, but for the most part, it was more of your standard point and click adventure. And I mainly did it for the story, because these are basically canon to the lores of each of their franchises.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of both the Jurassic Park series and the Back to the Future series, and that's the only reason why I bought those games, was to just play them. Yeah, just to play them and see what they're about. But it's really sad that these games are being pulled altogether from a developer that was known to be really great and make a lot of really cool games. And if you haven't had a chance, check out NoClip's documentary on the
yes, I checked it
Telltale
out too.
employees.
It's a very, very, very good channel.
I watched the Half-Life one. The Half-Life one was
Yeah.
awesome. There's a bunch of other ones they're doing. There's an upcoming documentary with Suda51. He's the guy that created No More Heroes. I'm looking forward to that one. But the Telltale one was definitely, wow. It was powerful, I'd say. There was a lot to take in, because everyone had good memories, and they were all just kind of shattered by poor management.
I know.
So yeah, check that out if you have a chance. It's only 40 something minutes, so yeah, it's not that long.
So I just wanted to confirm, because the studio is gone, there's no money to renew the licenses for the IP. Therefore, that's why they can't be sold digitally anymore.
Oh, okay.
So it's an IP issue, just because no one's paying for it. But what it seems to look like is, for physical copies, since physical copies are just out in the open, if you don't have if you want to get one of these and it's off of digital, you could still you can still grab a physical copy, so long as it hasn't been sold out. Because once it sells out, it's sold out.
Yeah. I think, well, whenever this podcast comes out, I think it'll be too late.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hope that people are reading the news and seeing what's happening, because it is your last chance to get these games.
Yes.
And you can, in a sense, you'll own a piece of history.
You
that
will.
You can't really share with other people.
You will.
So, yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to put that on the table, Lisa, see if you were aware.
Yeah, that was my first time finding out. It's very unfortunate it has to happen. It's the whole Telltale situation really opened up a lot of issues going on in the gaming industry and management revolving around it. And hopefully we just look at this in history and we can learn from our mistakes as we move forward with other studios and other ways to make games.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, this is all just a really good learning experience.
Yep.
But at the same time, there's a lot to be said about this whole thing, and we've kind of already said these things enough, but like it all starts with the gamers and voting with your wallets, but at the same time, it's the people that make these games are the ones that are suffering the most, I'd say.
Of course.
And we're just here to enjoy the content that they make, but not realize that there's something going on behind the scenes.
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks, but this is the way it is, and there's not a lot that we could do. So
yeah, well, we'll just hope for the best.
Yeah. So let's talk about something a little bit happier. Let's talk about like E3. Let's talk about stuff that people want to hear.
All right. So we haven't talked about E3 pretty much at all this past month, and we're finally just gonna look at all of the rumors and just give our predictions of what's gonna happen for E3 2019.
Yeah. Should we start with like conferences? Like, should we just go by each conference and just talk about it?
All right. So the schedule for E3 this year. I think Microsoft is the first press conference, as always, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're yeah.
Is it EA this year that's first, or is it always Microsoft?
I think it's Microsoft that's first.
EA Play kicks off June 7th. Okay.
But is that an official?
You
know what I mean? Like, is that actually like an official like E3 press?
I mean, people will be, since it's so close to the date. Then I just think it's not officially part of the days in E3, but I mean, it's just there.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, we'll just count it. I mean, I'm looking forward to Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn.
Yeah.
And maybe some Titanfall 3, but that's about it.
For sure.
I'm not a huge EA guy, so...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone's been saying that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is vastly different from any other thing EA's put out, and I mean, I won't believe it till I see it.
Yeah, we'll just hope for the best. It's always nice to know that after a few of the setbacks from Battlefront and everything, that they're focusing on a first person, or not first person, sorry, a single player. So I think to see where that narrative goes, we'll find out in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, and you'll hear our thoughts and opinions once it comes out.
Yep. First of all, have you heard that Fable 4 is going to have some reveals?
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah, so I think the company that can benefit the most from E3 is Microsoft. And Nintendo is going to have a presence at E3, no doubt. But Nintendo already does announcements outside of this huge press conference. They have the seasonal thing. Although I feel like Nintendo's announcements are like, what's it called? What's it called when Nintendo does an announcement?
Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Direct is monthly now, almost.
Yeah.
Like, they have
I'm
something
not surprised.
every month. So I think you shouldn't expect a lot of new stuff announced at E3, but probably some good follow-ups and good demos. And potentially there will be a new announcement. You never know. But I think Microsoft, they don't have this type of format of revealing news. So they could really go all out with this conference, which I think they should. And
Yeah, I think their biggest two things they're going to reveal are Halo Infinite, which is pretty much a given since last year they showed something. But this year, I want them to show more.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's coming out on PC. It is coming out on PC, yeah. So, I don't need an Xbox to play it, but they will probably be announcing a new Xbox.
Yes.
Which is their second biggest thing.
Yeah. No doubt about that. There's going to be something console related for Microsoft. Fable, the next Fable, might be announced as well.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't played any of the Fable games. I think I own one of them. But I haven't really played it that much because it's just one of those games that takes a long time, and I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of things you could do in that game. It's pretty much like your standard RPG. Yeah. So Microsoft, I'm definitely looking forward to just because of Halo. That's literally the only thing, and I hope they talk more about the Master Chief Collection for PC. So
yes.
We'll see.
There's a rumor that CD Projekt Red's working on The Witcher 4. We don't know for sure yet, but that is a rumor.
I also want them to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 a little bit more too.
Do you think that 2077 is now going to come out on the new Xbox and the PS5?
Yes, it could be. It could be released for both consoles, both meaning the PS4 and Xbox One.
I would think
as
so,
well as
yeah.
the next box and the PS5.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it against them. I feel like it would just be a smart move whenever these consoles come out.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that the PS5 is rumored to be backwards compatible is going to be something huge for me. But I don't think I'm ready to just jump the gun yet. I think I'm just going to wait a little bit.
You gotta see what the launch package is. If the launch package,
exactly,
like I said, last or previous podcast, if that launch package comes out with with their new PSVR or like something huge, it'll be worth getting on launch. But
yeah,
we'll see.
If it comes with some BS stuff, like you get a T-shirt, you get a belt, you get a clown nose, I don't know, you get a bunch of stuff, I'll be like, what the fuck? I'm not gonna spend my money on this. Yeah, no, we'll just wait. We'll wait and see. Again, you don't need to put your money down until you see it.
Nope.
Until you hold it, until you touch it at the store, and you're like, wow, I'm at GameStop playing a little demo version of it. This is great. I think I'm gonna buy this myself. At least that's how I used to think that GameStop was like. Now they don't even have those kiosks anymore. Ugh. Now you have to go to Target. No, I'm just kidding. You can still go to Target and do it.
You can.
Square Enix is on Monday, June 10th, and hopefully we'll hear more about the Avengers game that Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal are putting together. There's supposed to be some DLC from Kingdom Hearts 3 that's going to be announced. And some Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff, which was promised to us a few weeks ago in a teaser trailer that said more to come in June. We're like, okay. So, I know a lot of people are hyped for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
People have been hyped for 10 years, and some people, I'm shocked, they're still hyped. Really?
I know. They're the same crowd that's been like, yo, Kingdom Hearts 3 on the PS3.
Okay, that's actually very true. That's so true.
Yeah. Again, Square is a developer that delivers. They just take time. They just take so much time.
I know.
For whatever dumb reason.
I would love for Square Enix to announce a new game with level 5. Are they level 5 Origins? The people who did Nier Automata?
That's a great question.
Did I even say that studio correctly? Because Square Enix published it, I know for a fact. Oh, no, actually, never mind. Nier Automata was Platinum Games.
Oh, okay.
The developer was Platinum Games. I would love for Square Enix to announce not a Nier Automata, obviously, but a game in conjunction with Platinum that is kind of like their next fun or like their next dark JRPG.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. All right.
And then we have Bethesda, who will hopefully talk about some Doom Eternal, maybe a little bit of Wolfenstein, Youngblood. Who is it? Todd Howard announced at PAX East that they're not going to talk about Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield, so we won't hear anything about that. I don't know. Maybe we'll hear some Fallout 76 stuff, but I don't really play that game, and I'm not interested. So
yeah,
whatever.
With Elder Scrolls 6, you know how they made that announcement last year?
Yes.
I bet you they were barely into production. I bet you they were only 2 years into production, and I would assume the upcoming Elder Scrolls 6, which is probably going to come out on the new consoles now, it's going to take at least 5 years to develop.
I see.
Yeah. I bet you it's not even close to being done.
I mean, I'm sure it's still like a concept, and I'm sure they're looking at trends and looking at the market and trying to figure out where is this going to go. But at the end of the day, like no one really knows.
Yeah.
Okay, and Nintendo is on Tuesday, June 11th, where they have a Nintendo Direct at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Yes.
12 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
And we're going to find more about Pokemon Sword and Shield, Mario Maker 2, the Link's Awakening remake, and some things that I'm really hoping for that I know they're going to talk about are Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion 3.
They're probably going to talk about Animal Crossing. I would bet you that if you went to E3, you could try Animal Crossing.
Oh, man, I want co-op in Animal Crossing, like on the same console,
Ooh, That'd be nice.
So cool. Ugh, just like two people. Just have two people share the same screen. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
My hopes for Nintendo's Direct that I don't know if they're going to announce anything or maybe likely not is a new fighter for Super Smash Brothers. Maybe some Super Mario Party DLC, which I'm really hoping. And the third thing I really want from them, well, there's a fourth thing too, but the third thing I want from them is what's it called? Like some Mario Kart DLC. I know this game is like super old to them, but I want like more tracks and more carts, and just announce a new Mario Kart.
Oh no, I was actually about to say that instead. Just have outright just have a new Mario Kart.
The fourth thing is this is kind of a bundle. It's like I want to hear more about Star Fox and F-Zero. If there's anything that's gonna appear about those two franchises on the Switch. I don't know. That's my hope and dreams right there. But we'll see. I'm just like, whatever.
I think for me, I want to see more pictures of what the new Switches are going to look like because...
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because I don't have as you all know, I don't have a Switch yet. I do want to get a Switch. I prefer something smaller than what the current Switch is at. So if I see what I want, then, that will determine whether I wait for that. If I don't see what I want, then I guess I'm just gonna buy the Switch right now. So
right, yeah.
Yeah. But I would
go ahead.
I just would like a smaller version of the Switch. Or like slightly smaller. Like if you made it an inch smaller, I would be happy.
That's like the idea. People were saying that there's gonna be two versions, like a XL version and kind of like a on the go mini version, but I don't know. Like these are all rumors and speculation.
Of course.
And we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I
was gonna say Octopath Traveler used to only be on the Switch, which would probably be a reason for you to get it because I think it's a JRPG that you'd really like, but it's actually on Steam, so
yeah,
you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, no,
but you can take it on the go, which is nice. You could take it on the go for the Switch.
It is a convenient. Like I know that it's on Steam, and this is a game that's been on my radar. Or actually, I don't know if it's on Steam yet, but it is at least we know coming to PC. But man, that is a game that is convenient that you can if it's in a travel size.
Yeah,
just the nature of JRPGs in general.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I just confirmed right now that it's coming on June 7th for $60.
Okay.
Which is expensive. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's a popular game. A lot of people like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might try it out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Like I wish I got Danganronpa on my Vita almost, because I know for a fact that it's available on Vita. But I got the whole trilogy, so it's fine. But man, JRPGs really do fit travel size.
Yeah.
No regrets though. No regrets.
If there's if there are games that you still want for your Vita, I'd say start buying them now, because there could be a time when you might not be able to buy them anymore.
Yep.
That's my feeling towards GameCube games, at least.
Yes. Definitely.
But yeah, and another rumor that came out was that George R. R. Martin's working on a Game of Thrones game, or maybe it's a Game of Thrones game with From Software's Hidetaka Miyazaki. So he's working on a game with them. So it's probably Game of Thrones, let's be honest.
So we now know why the final books haven't been finished yet. It's because he's working on a game, apparently.
He's like, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on a game.
He's just like, oh, I don't need to finish this book if I can make a game out of it.
He's like, I'm working on it. He's like getting on a plane. He's like, I'm working on it. I'm like, where are you going? Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He just leaves.
Jesus. It would be crazy though, because Sekiro very popular, or at least like it like got the sales that it needed. So if From Software can pull off a Game of Thrones game, they would be doing very well for themselves.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And they're already doing well for themselves. But like this would
be yeah.
Oh my god, Jeremy, would there be a Dark Souls style Game of Thrones?
That's what everyone's speculating. Everyone's thinking like, wow, that would be cool. And despite all the negative criticisms
is it really that cool?
I'm not a huge fan of the Dark Souls series. I haven't played any of them, and Sekiro is my first foray into the whole series. So I'm just like, this is my standard now. But despite the negative criticisms of the most recent Game of Thrones season, you have to admit that if this game did come out, if a Game of Thrones video game that's like a Dark Souls game came out, then people would buy it. Like, it would probably sell more than 1 million copies, because people like both of those two things, like the medieval fantasy genre and the difficulty of the From Software games.
Would you rather play a Game of Thrones that's like Bloodborne, or would you rather play a Game of Thrones that's like Skyrim? I would rather play a Skyrim style of Game of Thrones.
I would rather play a Skyrim style of Game of Thrones as well. And there's mods out there you can use to make Skyrim like that, or you can do the route that I did, which was in the game Mount and Blade Warband. There's a mod called Clash of Kings, which is basically, it turns the whole map into Game of Thrones, Westeros and Essos, and and all the textures are modded differently.
Yeah.
And that in itself is already a Game of Thrones video game, and you can just get it for free as long as you own Warband. But again, Warband's not a perfect game, and it's nowhere near the same quality and the same spectrum as Skyrim, but they are both RPGs in a certain sense. Skyrim just has the magic factor on it, which is, the game is built around, the magic, but also the combat, whereas Warband is limited to the kinds of things it can do in the game, since it's the base model is a medieval game with no magic.
Yeah.
So if you really care about those kinds of things, then I would say a modded version of Skyrim, or a Skyrim-like game with a Game of Thrones setting, is a lot more appealing to me because of the open world and the story that you make by yourself as opposed to the same path that you travel with other people.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, but again, he's been busy making the game, and he's like, I'm putting it off. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we'll see what he does next. I mean, hopefully he finished it and he can finish the books, because I know a lot of people are clamoring for that.
Uh-huh.
And that was like the most recent rumor that came out that I saw.
Yeah, that was the most recent rumor I saw. My general prediction of E3 is I think Microsoft is gonna go all out, but I think because Nintendo has already been relying on directs and how E3 has turned into much more of a fan convention instead of actually having announcements happen during E3. I do think we're gonna see less announcements than we're gonna see announcements dwindle, I think, throughout the years, unless like Xbox does something like crazy, or Nintendo, or like anyone does something crazy and they're like, oh, they're still lot in doing a live press conference at E3 and announcing things there.
Right. Yeah, no, the same sentiments as well. I mean, E3 is changing a lot.
Yes.
So because one of the big three pulled out, and they're just like, okay, well, what do we do now? I mean, like, I'm sure they weren't running around with their heads cut off, but at the same time, they're just like, okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
But we have to change things a little bit.
Because of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, because of course Microsoft can easily have their own conference as well, just as PlayStation's gonna eventually have their own conference. So.
Yeah, and if that happens, I think Nintendo would stay at E3 just to kind of hold down the fort for a bit. But they've already kind of left, in the sense that they just show up there with their games already ready to play, and they just announce everything through video that you can watch over and over again.
An interesting thing about Square Enix is, even though PlayStation is not going to be there, technically a lot of Square Enix games are PlayStation based, so PlayStation will be there. And I would say the same thing for a lot of developers who are Japanese based. They're probably going to be showcasing their demos on a PlayStation. So it's kind of funny how even though they're not physically there, they're still in our hearts.
The spirit of Sony lives on through the games.
Through the game. Oh, Jesus.
It's true though. I mean,
true.
we're not going to. I mean, we probably won't see Ghost of Tsushima because that's kind of a first party title.
And
but
rumors are starting to show that might be on launch of PlayStation 5 too.
No, I want. I mean, it's still coming out on PS4, but still.
Yeah, it's still gonna come. It's still gonna come out on PS4. Just that they might wait a little longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which, you know, I don't mind waiting for perfection, because that game will be the greatest game of all time. Anyways.
It's gonna be an easier version of Sekiro.
Yes.
At least to me. One thing I forgot to mention was that I'm hoping that we get to see a little bit of the new Yakuza game that's going to come out. Yakuza
3?
Shin Ryuga Gotoku.
Oh, you're talking about the new character.
Yeah, I want to see the new game. I want to see what this new dude's all about. I just want to know more Yakuza, you know?
Because most likely E3, there's going to be a quick demo of Judgment, and because they usually have two things that Sega focuses on. So obviously Judgment is one, and I agree. I would love to see some new footage of the upcoming Yakuza.
Yeah, just show it to me.
I know it's been a little quiet since we haven't gotten a release date yet for Yakuza 3, the remake. So still waiting. Because Sega is pretty reliable in terms of giving the fan base dates. So just I know that they're focusing a lot on Judgment, and I do want to play that game as well. So
yeah, I'm hoping they talk about it at least a little bit.
I think
if
so.
Not, then if we don't hear anything at E3, we might just hear about it at Tokyo Game Show in September. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah. And again, like, I'm still waiting for 3, 4, and 5 to come out on PS4 in the West, because it's kind of quiet right now.
Yeah, like I said, if we don't hear anything about Yakuza 3 coming out in fall this year, I might play it on PS3 if I'm like impatient. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, because Judgment's going to be a long game as well. So
yeah, Judgment's going to be fun. It's going to be an interesting take on the franchise.
I'm so hyped. It's going to be legit.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You know it.
yeah. You'll hear us talk about that game in detail, just as we did when the other Yakuza games came out.
I know. Not at E3 news, but at least my last thing that I want to talk about is that Sony announced that they're going to have a division called PlayStation Productions, and it's going to be a studio specifically for turning all of their IP into TV shows and movies.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I'm like, okay.
Which I'm just like, I think someone posted on the Discord that this is probably going to be the studio that works on Uncharted, because we've heard rumors of that already with Tom Holland. So that makes sense. And then I bet you they probably did it too because of Spider-Man, just so that they can get a piece of that. And then also, I would say that PlayStation View, which is their live streaming service, I wonder if they're doing this specifically for PlayStation View views, or if this is going to be in conjunction with a partnership with someone else, and PlayStation's going to like be featured on Hulu, or PlayStation's going to be featured on Netflix, or you know what I mean. So
yeah, I see.
Yeah, not sure. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of possibilities there.
I mean, I'm hopeful, but I'm hopefully cautious.
I don't know if I want a God of War game, a movie, or a TV show.
I don't even want an Uncharted TV show or movie.
I don't want one either.
There are some games that should just stay games and not be made into movies.
Yeah, I feel that way about a lot of things.
But sometimes it's too late, like Super Mario Brothers and Doom featuring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And Carl Urban for some reason. That was a terrible movie. I watched that on DVD and I was like, I want to return this.
Yeah.
Alyssa, where can people find us?
www.Downtime.Live. Look on the left module panel and you will see a link to our Discord, and you can join the Discord on the website. You can also find our email, contact@Downtime.Live. You can go to any of the platforms where we have the podcast, which is YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Blueberry, and post a comment and we will respond to it.
On the podcast.
And
yeah,
if you listen to us through Apple Podcasts or iTunes, shoot us a review and rate us 5 stars.
Please.
Yep. And, now, when we were talking about Yakuza, Jeremy, I feel like we should have a Yakuza podcast sometime soon. It's been a while. It's been a very long time since we talked about that game.
Yeah, we maybe we could do like
let's do a special of some sort, but of something that we haven't talked about with Yakuza yet.
Okay, maybe it could be like, I wouldn't say a history of Yakuza because there's a lot to talk about. You can't just talk about all the games in sequential order because there's so many little things that happen in the games that you're just like, this is so much information to process. I don't know, which guy were you talking about? Like who, what, who did what? But yeah, we'll come up with something.
Yeah, we'll think of something fun.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. This has been the 103rd podcast. Thank you all for listening. We do not support Who Took the Throne last week.
Yeah.
That was kind of stupid, but life goes on in the United States. So
or wherever you are right now, life goes on.
Or wherever you live, life just goes on.
Yeah.
All right. Stay tuned next week. If there's any other rumors, we'll cover it. And all right. Have a good weekend.
See ya. Have a good one.